A father, watching his young daughter suffer from severe, crippling arthritis, began making a desperate, repetitive plea. Over and over, he swore aloud that he would gladly give his right arm to see her cured. Shortly after, a horrific car accident severed that exact arm, and in the days that followed, his daughter's arthritis completely vanished. This reveals a terrifying mechanism at work inside all of us. The deepest part of your mind does not understand metaphor, it does not recognize sarcasm, and it has absolutely no concept of nuance. It simply takes the instructions it is given and executes them. New Thought minister and author Joseph Murphy argued that this phenomenon is the result of a divided psychology. He believed we operate with two distinct, often conflicting layers of consciousness. The first is the conscious mind. This is your objective filter. It takes in the world through your five senses, evaluates the data logically, and makes deliberate choices about what to focus on. The second is the subconscious. If the conscious mind is the radar array on the top deck of a ship, the subconscious is the engine room deep below. It is a blind, subjective engine that accepts whatever coordinates the radar sends down, without ever questioning the destination. The crew in that engine room cannot look out the window. If your conscious mind is constantly broadcasting fear, anxiety, and statements of limitation, the subconscious accepts those inputs as absolute truth and steers the ship directly into the rocks. Chronic self-sabotage is the predictable result of a perfectly functioning biological system, accurately executing terrible code. To prove how absolute this programming is, we have to look at what happens when the rational filter is deliberately bypassed. Researchers can bypass this filter by inducing a hypnotic state. Hypnosis effectively puts the conscious, logical mind to sleep, leaving a direct, unprotected backdoor to the subconscious. Under these extreme conditions, subjects exhibit profound physical changes. If you tell a hypnotized person they are freezing cold, they will shiver. If you tell them they are made of solid stone, their muscles will lock with enough rigidity to support the weight of a grown man standing on their chest. The body physically obeys the implanted suggestion. But you don't need a swinging pocket watch to be compromised. Every day, your repetitive internal monologue creates its own localized hypnotic loop, constantly feeding instructions to your inner engine. This brings us to what Murphy called the law of belief. It states that any thought or idea planted in the mind and repeated with genuine feeling will eventually physically manifest in your life. Think of the subconscious as completely indifferent fertile soil. It does not care if you plant a beautiful flower or a poisonous weed. When you habitually repeat phrases like, "I can't afford that," or "I will never figure this out," you are passively dropping seeds into that soil. The subconscious accepts those statements as literal commands and begins constructing the physical roadblocks to make sure you stay broke and confused. Stopping this requires a strict defensive protocol. You have to aggressively intercept those negative statements the moment they form, instantly countering them with a positive assertion before they can reach the soil. Your current reality, the limits you face today, is simply the delayed harvest of the invisible thoughts you failed to monitor months or even years ago. This reprogramming extends all the way down to the cellular level. Your body is in a constant, silent state of physical regeneration. The exact same subconscious intelligence that regulates your heartbeat and digests your food replaces your cells so quickly that every 11 months you are walking around in an entirely new physical body. Sudden, miraculous healing at shrines or through deep prayer occurs when intense visualization and belief send a massive, highly specific command directly to that regenerative intelligence. This same framework applies directly to economics. True wealth is a persistent internal state that precedes the accumulation of physical assets. If you hold a deep-seated belief that money is inherently evil, or if you constantly agonize over scarcity, your subconscious will treat wealth as a threat. It will act as a literal repellent, blinding you to opportunities and sabotaging financial success. This flowchart illustrates Murphy's economic theory. Left, blood circulating through a heart valve. Right, economic value moving through a network. Notice the severe blockages. Substitute fear of scarcity with an expectation of abundance, and the subconscious removes the restriction, allowing capital to flow freely. Even human relationships are governed by this exact mechanism. You will inevitably attract and experience the specific behaviors and attitudes you habitually project onto the people around you. You are operating an instrument capable of generating nearly any outcome you desire. But to use it, you have to stop acting like a passenger. You must step onto the bridge, take the wheel, and start issuing deliberate commands.